Okay, this is part 2 of the Mysterious Lands in Light, so let's get to it. Exhausted, we decided to leave and come back for more research the following day. I was filled with disappointment as I reached the main road. I suggested we drive back down the road from which we had just come one more time and stop at a little store. Ahead of us was another car driving about 45 miles an hour. We hung back a bit to remain well behind it. There are too many curves on this road to speed or pass safely at night, and the oak trees are so close to the edge of the pavement that if I had stretched my arm out the window, I could have touched their rough bark with my fingertips. Suddenly I saw an immense ball of fire rise in the air and in front of the car ahead of us. For a moment it simply did not register, and I continued talking. The second time it happened, I stopped in mid-sentence, and all I could say was, "Look, for heaven's sake, look." It bounced up in the air a third time, and the fourth time left me scarcely able to speak, for the light rose again. But this time it traveled over the roof of the car ahead toward us, and then went off at a tangent into the woods at the right of the road. Both of us saw it. There is no doubt of that. We pulled over to the side of the road and waited, thinking there must be some reasonable explanation. Perhaps there was a car coming from the opposite direction, and somehow we were seeing its headlights. 10 minutes passed and no car appeared. Could it be headlights coming over a series of hills in the distance? No. This island is a flat, and as most of the coastal Carolina area, and nothing could explain the fact that it resembled a ball of fire that was no more than 50 to 70 feet or 75 feet away from us. The following day we came back and interviewed people along the road. Mary Simpson, who lives just beyond the Chapel of Ease, has seen it many times. She believes the light began after a bus accident, which she places sometime around 1948. Lillian Chaplin, who lives farther down the road on the way to Fort Fremont, which is at the tip of the island, says her father, told her the light has been there since Civil War days. Mrs. Chaplin says the best place to see it is between Adams Street Baptist Church and the Hanging Tree. That's a double tree that hangs over the road, and they say some runaway slaves were caught and hung from it. Boy, I hate that, but anyway. On the way back to Frogmore, we stopped at the country store and talked to Bill Brown, who had lived along the road for years. He says, "Lord, I knew that man that drove that bus. He ought to have known better than to go fast around one of those curves. Hit a tree plumb head on and killed himself and 2 other people. Lots of folks were hurt, too. Sometimes they say, that light is old Willie's bus coming right out of the bad place." A former deputy with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Department was sure he saw the phenomenon and described the light as a large white ball of fire with a reddish halo rimming the central light. The light drifted along the road with a swinging motion. Robert Cooler, the owner of a boating business, and Dean Poucher, at that time with the Beaufort Chamber of Commerce, saw the Land's End light as a large, bright light, which came down the road toward them and then disappeared when they tried to approach it. Islanders say that several years ago, 2 Marines from Paris Island, made up their minds they were going to drive right through the light, and they did. But they hit a tree head on, and one of them was killed. Oh, Meanwhile, sighters continue to gather to wait for the light, parking beside the road, and sometimes even standing in the middle. I don't mind admitting that on the night I drove down Land's End Road, I saw something I have never seen on any other road in any part of the United States. Whatever it is, the light is definitely there, and it's a startling sight. But somehow, none of the stories really explain it. they just underline the fact that we continue to coexist with the unknown. And I hate for people to wreck their cars and stuff. That's just, ugh. You know, I don't want to make it sound graphic, but it's oosh. All right, there's a picture of one of the rooms. I don't know if you can see that right there. And here's one of the cemetery mausoleums. Anyway, if I known it was going to be that short, I could have finished it up in part 1. But anyway, yes, I'm sorry. I'll try to read faster this time, but I don't know what's wrong. My vocals is just going down low for some odd reason. But yes, that's going to be it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.